Hey, how's it going? It's Keith Towser from the CTOadvisor.com. You're watching the sponsored episode of the CTO Dose. We're still here at the Cosmopolitan. You love the weird wallpaper effect that we had going on. I'm joined again, Rollison. I think we're making a tradition of this, of interviewing Cohesity at AWS reInvent. reInvent is happening just a couple of hotels over in either direction.
All hotels.
Yeah, all hotels.
I believe.
All of the hotels in Vegas are dedicated to reInvent. I think we expect more than 40,000 people here again.
Yeah, I heard 55.
Wow.
It's serious.
It's good business if you can get it.
Yeah.
So, Cohesity, this is not, you guys are not new. Lynn, you're new to the CTO Dose.
Thank you.
Your role at Cohesity?
So I lead marketing at Cohesity. Try to keep this guy, in line a little bit. Hard to do.
Yeah, I don't think it's even worth the effort anymore.
Probably not.
Probably not. And Rollison, Global Field CTO still?
Still.
All right, good.
Still.
See, they haven't figured it out yet, huh?
I'm more his proxy. When he doesn't show up, he sends me, and I do the dude. I do what I do.
So this is the second time in a few months that I've interviewed Cohesity. So for those of you that haven't seen the interview with Mohit Aaron, the founder and CEO of Cohesity, Rollison joined me at VMworld for that. Lynn, thank you very much for sponsoring this CTO Dose. Let's start out with, I think, the most obvious thing. US, other than the fact that 55,000 people are here, what's the big news coming out of Cohesity when it comes to AWS in the cloud?
Well, I'll start and then I'll let Rollin pick up here. So Cohesity is making more news with AWS this week. So we've been integrated with them for quite some time. And now we're announcing complete failover failback with AWS. So we see a lot of customers looking for DR sites that aren't on-prem, second site, but in the cloud. We also have integration with Snowball, and we also have backup of cloud-native AWS applications. So expanding our capability set for those customers that are using AWS.
Wow, so that is the executive level money shot right there. Failover, fallback. Rollison, I'm going to bring you right into this conversation.
I know it.
Because you know what she said, fell over, fall back.
Yeah.
I was going to challenge this. We talked last year about what backing up VMC and restoring VMC, or backing up vSphere and restoring your vSphere infrastructure in the cloud in amazing speeds. I didn't believe you then.
And I showed it to you.
You showed it to me, so okay. But the art of the cloud, you guys have done it, your competitors have done it, the ability to take VM images, back them up, make them available in the cloud. There's a lot of work to make that, operationalize that and make that actually work. There's no thought in bringing that back on-prem. Like, that's not a consideration. That's not a use case. The use case is normally, we're going to back it up. We're going to restore it in the cloud. And if you need to restore it back onto prem, we'll deal with that at a later date. So, Rollison, tell me, what's the secret sauce in this? What's going on?
So, we are able to deliver conversion of the platform. So we are actually somewhat agnostic to the virtualization platform that's running. Obviously, if you're running VMware on-prem and you're going to go fail to AWS, you're going to run AMI. But we now give you the ability to, from within our own platform, fail back to VMware again, which means converting from one, coming back to another. In the event that you want to go back and forth, that's what's needed. Not everyone's going to stay in the cloud. A portion of the infrastructure won't stay in the cloud. Maybe they want to be able to go back and forth. We could do that very easily. The conversion is seamless. It takes really not a lot of time. Applications work as they should. And in the case you wanted to do it to either the VMware on AWS Cloud, that's a different process and all that. But now we're completely covering everything within AWS.
So this is not just backup. This is cloud migration.
Correct.
So the ability, customers find that once they've gone down this route of cloud, you know what? Not every workload is suited for cloud.
Correct.
Right.
Let's bring that back on prem. So Lynn, you mentioned something else that kind of struck my eye or my ears. The ability to integrate with Snowball. What's the story behind that?
So I think a lot of organizations are looking to move from tape to getting that archival capability. And Snowball is one of the ways that they can take that older data and move it into very cold storage, but you get the advantage then with Cohesity of still having the ability to index it and understand what you might need from a compliance or an e-discovery point of view. So doing that integration allows us to help those customers looking to move their archive to AWS, do that in an easier way.
So, Rollison, let's talk about this in practical terms. I have tape today, and one of my challenges with tape has always been making sure I'm indexing the tape. One, there's a ton of like disadvantages to tape. One is speed, the portability. There's a lot of challenges that I have with tape. Once I play something to tape, recalling it from backup or from archival has always been a challenge. You know, I got to reconcile the physical database with the virtual database, and then there's the index itself. If I lose the index to something that I have off-prem, that means I have to recall the tapes. I have to re-inventory the tape to get the index to know what I have. This is extremely important when it comes to challenges such as GDPR, etc., knowing what data I have where. So, correct me if I'm wrong, it sounds like Cohesity has partially solved that challenge by allowing me to back up to Snowball, which allows me to do mass data imports into AWS.
And that's the key right there. So we've been able to do that effectively at a much smaller quantities. But Snowball is larger. Now you can take a massive amount of data from an enterprise and take this device back to AWS through us. All the indexes there, you can pull that information from anywhere you want it, whether the cluster you replicated it from was the one that's originated there or not. We give you all those capabilities.
You know, and I was in New York earlier this year with Moet, talking to some large financial institutions. You know, I think you hit the nail on the head. For some of them, right, it's not just GDPR, it might be discovery, it might be other legal types of challenges, and they've got a real challenge of even just providing that service today off of tape. So they're looking for a much more reliable way to do that and to keep that stable, because some of these new regulations, especially for global customers, is crazy. You know, 40, 50 years of retention.
And I think one of the biggest challenges that organizations have is this ability to know what data they have and where that data exists. Obviously, I can choose to have all of this data into AWS. I'm going to assume, Rollison, that a bunch of technologies and infrastructures there that I can choose what region I import this data into. So if I have European data that has to be in a European geo data center, I can send my tapes or my EC2 instances, or actually this is an EC2, my snowballs off to that region to have that data imported there.
Correct.
I can then replicate that data in anywhere in the world that I want to. How do I track all of that? Like once it's in the cloud, how do I know where it's at? So if I get an auditor that comes to me and says, you know what, Keith, we want to ensure that you guys are following your retention policy and that you're not keeping too much data. Prove it to me. Well,
we have, I don't know if you saw our announcement of Helios, which is our SaaS manager of managers per se. So Helios is based on use machine learning, AI, and all these things we're building into it. So that we'll be able to give you the compliance on not only what you see in terms of jobs being completed, capacity, all those things that are done, being able to assist in making sure that certain SLAs are satisfied and met regardless of where they are, cloud, on-premise, AWS, whatever other cloud, whatever, it doesn't matter. And we're also, you know, as the platform evolves, it'll leverage AI to do things like what you just said, where compliance is one of the things we want to do particularly, and I'm very passionate about that. We talked about this many times. I talk about it with Mohit a lot too. But the point is to have the ability to have compliance be satisfied as the data is ingested in its place, wherever it is, so that you can follow that compliance whenever the jobs are done. That's something that we're working towards, because it's all about having ubiquitous access to data globally and have it managed in a safe and secure way, so there's no spilling, there's no risk of exposure, things of that nature. But the reporting is key, because we also have an engine that will provide reporting from anywhere the platform is. And if you ever want to, for example, say, I want to make sure this particular application, whether it's on AWS or whatnot, whichever region it is, Helios will show you the application when you're looking for it. Global search, global everywhere. It could be hundreds of clusters. You search what you're looking for. You don't have to know specifically what it is, but it comes up. You click it and it takes you right there. Reporting, give it to me. Give me everything, all the metadata about that particular object that we protect, accessible and actionable.
So, last line of questioning. This is, again, CTO advisor. We got to be true to the challenging questions. Either one of you can take it. We're at AWS Reunite. Obviously, with 55,000 people, not every person is going to have this on-prem, off-prem data protection challenges. For born in the cloud companies, what's the story, or what's the selling point for Cohesity? If I've never had I don't even know what a server is. Why Cohesity?
I'll take first one. I actually was talking to a gentleman on the way down. I'll leave his company anonymous, Born in the Cloud. And I think that what many organizations are starting to understand is twofold. One, it's going to be that I might want to have some extra backup and data protection, because I want to make sure that what I've got that's born in the cloud is really going to be safe and is going to be there. And dare I say it, I think it's also multi-cloud. And do I need a way to maybe easily get my data to another place, if I so choose at some point in time?
I've always been a proponent that you look at your multi-cloud strategy first by looking at data first. Until you understand how you're going to move data in and out of different cloud providers, you're going to have a failed multi-cloud strategy. And I love the fact that you guys have already thought that through. The example of going on-prem, off-prem, and back on-prem again is an example that you guys have given this multi-cloud migration some thought. And I'm a big proponent of using third parties for data protection, no matter who your cloud is.
Also, the thing is that for data protection, it's just like, it's a bit different. There's services provided out there, but they're not known to the enterprise yet. They're not enterprise level. They're things that are being built and designed with the thought of cloud native, but we have that and then some, right? We give you the ability to not only get it on this cloud for whatever it is, but in the event you want to now start building reliability across cloud vendors, we give you that. Our point is to build and deliver ubiquitous access to data globally, where the transformation of information happens without you having to deal with it, regardless of the virtualization platform, regardless of the cloud that you're choosing for. The point is to be able to keep it around, keep it going. Always access your data at any point in time.
So Cohesity is the abstraction layer in which you're betting on that you're able to get data in and out of whatever cloud that you need. No matter the cloud, no matter the compute resource, the vision is Cohesity is that data layer.
Correct.
A single operating model. Make it simple.
All right. I appreciate you guys coming on the CTO Advisor, making the trip all the way across the street. If you've never been in Vegas, when someone says that something is across the street, always schedule about 35 minutes to get there.
Don't try to walk there.
Don't try and walk there. Take a Uber, Lyft, or a cab. All right. That's it for this episode of the CTO Advisor CTO Dose. You can find us on the web, thectoadvisor.com. You can also find us on Twitter at CTO Advisor. And of course, you can find Cohesity, cohesity.com, and you guys tweet.
Yeah,
we do. Cohesity, I think, is convenient. You guys chose a unique enough name that wasn't taken on Twitter. Talk to you next CTO Dose.
Boom.